What's up guys, my name's Tom and welcome back to the FPL Centre. Time for the Game Week 14 fixture breakdown. As always, we will run through the key upcoming fixtures from an FPL perspective and try to identify who could be in line to benefit from some of the more glaring opposition weaknesses out there. We'll also take a quick look at my team selection as it stands heading into the weekend. Now, since Game Week 15 comes in quick succession, I will be releasing a separate fixture breakdown video to cover Game Week 15. That'll most likely be out over the weekend, but it will be based on the stats up to Game Week 13. It won't include any Game Week 14 stats since I will need to record and edit everything there before those games take place in order to get it out in time for you guys. So just so you know, there will be a Game Week 15 video coming out over the weekend, but it'll only include the stats up to Game Week 13. Now, if you do like the content I'm doing here on both the FPL and Fantasy Champions League games, make sure to give the video a thumbs up, get yourself subscribed, and hit that notification bell so you know when the latest video drops. But yeah, let's get straight into it. First up, we'll head to the Etihad where Man City host Bournemouth on Saturday. The hosts will come into this one following a tough midweek game against Lyon where they just about managed a 2-2 draw thanks to a couple of set-piece goals. Bournemouth meanwhile will be hoping that their counter-attacking style will be effective against City in the same way that Lyon caused so many problems to Pep Guardiola's side. The expectation in this one is that City will win comfortably yet again here, but the Bournemouth defence has actually conceded the 5th fewest big chances in the league so far this season, with just 22 given up over the first 13 game weeks. Eddie Howe's side have allowed the 8th most shots in the box to be taken against them though, indicating that they do give up plenty of chances even if the nature of those chances isn't particularly clear cut. What Bournemouth have done particularly well this season is create big chances for themselves, as they've created the 3rd most big chances in the league with 58, just 1 behind Chelsea and 5 more than Liverpool have managed so far. The Cherries have also generated the 5th most shots in the box with 110 so far this season. Although of course they do come up against the best defence in the league here, with Man City conceding the fewest big chances in the league as well as the fewest shots in the box through the first 13 game weeks. City have conceded 76 crosses from both the left and right wings, indicating that there's no particular weakness there. They do concede more chances from the wings than they do in central areas, but even though this is the case, it's still the 2nd fewest chances in the league conceded from the left flank and the fewest in the league conceded from the right, so it seems to be more of a case that they're just very strong across all areas of the pitch there. Bournemouth meanwhile concede the most crosses from the left wing, suggesting another good week for Leroy Sané could be on the cards here, at least in terms of picking up an assist, and they concede most of the chances created against them from central areas, conceding the 4th highest number in the league when it comes to chances in central areas, so step up Sergio Aguero then. It seems like it's time for him to shine this week. My score prediction in this one guys is Manchester City 3, Bournemouth 1. Next up, we'll take a quick look at the West London derby between Chelsea and Fulham at Stamford Bridge on Sunday. Maurizio Sarri will undoubtedly be looking for a big reaction as Chelsea will want to bounce back from last weekend's awful performance against Spurs, while Stamford Bridge will also set itself to welcome back ex-Chelsea manager Claudio Ranieri in his 2nd game in charge of Fulham. The stats suggest this one should be pretty clear-cut and very one-sided as the 2nd best attacking team in the league square up against the 2nd worst defensive team in the league, although of course the majority of Fulham's defensive record came under the watch of Slaviša Jokanovic. The same of course applies to Fulham's attacking stats, where they rank towards the bottom of the league with the joint 3rd fewest shots in the box and the joint 7th fewest big chances through the season so far. A switch in system under Ranieri could render this meaningless though, so we'll likely have a better idea of how dangerous Fulham really are after a few more game weeks. One thing we can be sure about though is that both managers will have their players really up for this one. Fulham concede the majority of crosses from the right wing, as well as conceding the most chances from the right wing and in central areas, indicating that this could be a matchup that benefits the likes of Willian, as well as whoever starts out of Morata and Giroud. However, we all know that Hazard does drift around and often finds himself in central areas too, so it's just as likely that he pops up with an attacking return or two here, providing he's recovered from the knock that he picked up last week. My score prediction in this one guys is Chelsea 4, Fulham 0. Next up is the North London derby taking place on Sunday as Arsenal host Spurs at the Emirates. Both sides will be coming into this one following midweek action in Europe, with Spurs earning a hard-fought 1-0 win against Inter in the Champions League, while Arsenal face an away trip that does see them travel to the Ukraine and back. The away side have been the better attacking unit so far this season, ranking 4th for generating shots in the box with 123, that's just 1 less than Liverpool, and Spurs also rank 4th for creating big chances through the first 13 game weeks. Arsenal meanwhile are just about a top half side when it comes to attacking stats, ranking 5th for generating shots in the box but just 11th for creating big chances. Despite this lack of big chances though, Arsenal have managed to get 65 shots on target this season. the 6th most in the league there and only 2 fewer than Spurs. And most importantly of all, Arsenal have scored the second highest number of goals this season with 28, tied with Chelsea and ahead of both Liverpool and Spurs. Only Manchester City have managed to score more. Defensively, the two North London sides rank 10th and 11th for conceding the most shots in the box this season, with Spurs allowing 103 to be taken against them, while Arsenal have allowed slightly fewer, with 98 shots being taken from inside their area. Spurs are much better at preventing big chances though, as they've allowed the 4th fewest to be created against them, with 19 through the season so far. Arsenal on the other hand have allowed the 8th fewest, tied with Everton on 25 big chances conceded, but that's one more than Huddersfield have allowed this season. Arsenal concede the majority of crosses against them from the right wing, which seems to play into Spurs' hands as they deliver 60% of their crosses from that side. However, without Kieran Trippier, it's unclear if Serge Aurier offers the same threat on the overlap, or if the likes of Eriksen, Son or Sissoko will take over the responsibility of getting these balls into the box from the right flank. The majority of chances Arsenal concede comes from the left flank, where again Son or Lucas Moura could line up, but there is so much unpredictability around the formation and lineup that Spurs could play, it's hard to say exactly who could benefit here. Spurs concede most of the chances created against them in central areas, meaning that whoever lines up as the central striker for Arsenal is the most likely to benefit against them, so that could be either Lacazette or Aubameyang depending on Lacazette's availability. My score prediction for this one, guys, is Arsenal 2, Spurs 3. The last game we'll take a look at today is the second big one of the weekend as Liverpool welcome Everton to Anfield for the Merseyside derby. Jurgen Klopp's side come into this one following a tough away loss to PSG in the Champions League, but they will be keen to get back to winning ways to keep up with their title rivals here. For the season so far, Liverpool have generated the 3rd most shots in the box and they've created the 5th most big chances. They also create a chance every 6.5 minutes, which is the 4th best ratio in the league. Everton on the other hand have created the 7th most big chances and have generated the 6th most shots in the box from inside opposition areas, and with a chance created every 7.1 minutes, they're definitely not a side that you can afford to underestimate as an attacking threat. Defensively too, Everton have conceded the 4th fewest shots in the box this season and have given up the 8th fewest big chances. An interesting battle within this game will be at set pieces, where Everton rank as the most dangerous team in the league from creating chances from set pieces, meanwhile Liverpool rank as the best team in the league for defending set pieces, making this one a kind of unstoppable force meeting the immovable object style matchup. As mentioned before, both sides are strong defensively, with neither side actually allowing many crosses to be delivered from either wing. Both sides are also strong at preventing chances from being created in most areas. However, if there is one area that stands out slightly as a weakness, it's the right wing where Everton concede the majority of their chances, and undoubtedly Mohamed Salah will be eager to capitalise on that if he gets the opportunity to do so. I'm expecting this one to be a pretty tight and cagey affair on the weekend, so my score prediction here is Liverpool 1, Everton 0. Okay, so this is the team selection as it stands. I'm at 34k in the overall rank right now, so looking to push on here and try and get close to the top 10k over the next few game weeks. I have a bit of a dilemma in goal as I could opt for Patricio away to Cardiff in what could be a nice fixture for Wolves there, but following their 2-0 home loss to Huddersfield, I'm not convinced that I want to double up on the Wolves defence again here, so Fabianski is currently set as the starter for his game against Newcastle there. In defence, we'll line up with 4 at the back once again as Alonso, Doherty and Alexander-Arnold all have decent fixtures in Game Week 14. Aaron Wan-Bissaka also comes into the starting lineup for his home game against Burnley, with Lucas Digne dropping to the bench. The midfield will consist of just 3 players this week as Brooks drops to the bench as well, but Martial, Hazard and Sterling all keep their places with relatively good fixtures there. And up front, Marko Arnautovic comes back into the starting lineup, replacing Brooks, meaning that it's 3 strikers this week as the Austrian starts alongside Sergio Aguero and Callum Wilson. The captaincy is currently on Hazard, as I've been targeting this fixture for him for a while now. There are of course a couple of doubts around him due to the knock that he's dealing with and his recent dip in form, as well as the fact that Claudio Ranieri is now in charge at Fulham. So things may change, with both Aguero and Sterling offering good alternatives in the game against Bournemouth, but for now I'm sticking with Hazard. Make sure you do follow me on Twitter at FPL Centre if you want to keep up with any changes I make to the team before the deadline. So there we go guys, if you liked the video give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to keep up with what I'm doing here at the FPL Centre, make sure to hit that notification bell as well when you subscribe so you know when the latest video drops. Let me know in the comments if you've made any big changes to your team heading into the weekend, but good luck in game week 14 guys. That's all from me today, thanks for watching.